Give a big round of the hand. Give a big round. Give a big round. Give a big round. Give a big round. Give a big round of the hand. Give a big round. Give a big round. Big round. Give a big round. Give a big.
We could have homes on separate coasts, go dive in Greece with squids. Could have been so bleeping rich, but instead we had kids. They won't smile for a photo, they won't eat the food we choose. That's why we're heading to the Parents' Lounge to drown ourselves in booze. Every day we're more exhausted, we haven't slept in years. They hit me in the nuts so bad, my eyes filled up with tears. And yes, we'd like to fake our death and go off of the grids, but the truth is we are softies and we truly love our kids. So join us every Tuesday night to laugh at all our pain. Evening in the Parents' Lounge is the cure to staying sane. Welcome to our Parents' Lounge Parental Mental Health Tuesday night. We hope you guys are getting through this as best you can. We are parents, except our guest tonight is not. So we're gonna get a little taste of the other side, and we'll get into it because I always call him when I go, "What's it like not to have kids?" So let me give him the introduction he so richly deserves. One of my oldest friends in Hollywood. We started doing sketch together many moons ago at Acme Comedy Theater. He is a comedian extraordinaire. You would know him from the TV shows Shrinking, Key and Peele, and Workaholics. And he has ventured into a new foray of author. He has a new book out that is for sale on Amazon, and we're having a big book release party this weekend here in Los Angeles. And it's called Have I Seen You in Anything? And you have, and he is here. Matt Knudsen is joining us.
Hey, thank you, Jamie and Jason. Pleasure does not begin to cover it.
No, the pleasure is all ours. Hey, really quick. I know, really quick. Before the show, Jason and I were losing our mind. I fed a couple kids. I had to make sure they got off the iPad so they didn't hoard all my Wi-Fi. Then I had to make sure they had done their homework. One has an ear infection, so I had to make sure she had the antibiotic. Then I made sure the homework's done, and then I came scrambling in here about 15 seconds before the show. Really quick, Matt, what did you do leading up to the show?
I played piano for an hour.
Is that it?
That was about it.
Consecutively?
That was it. Yeah.
Like a consecutive hour?
I have to say, I'm very grateful for music because when I'm playing music, it's the only thing I think about. And most of the time, that's not the case. I'm always kind of, I have not been diagnosed, but ADHD, something in that neighborhood. So
I have it as well, dude. And it's so funny you say that because I went to the Guitar Center today. I had to do this thing for this voiceover job I'm doing, and I brought Claire. I had to take Claire. Hey, Freddie B.
Freddie B.
And so Claire has been playing piano. She knows
Awesome.
a few songs on piano, and so all of a sudden I was sitting there talking to the guy. And I look over and she was at like this electric keyboard ripping away.
Awesome.
And so she sat there for like 20 minutes. Finally, I was like, Claire, we got to get out of here. And she's like, oh, okay. So I'm the same, dude. And honestly, as a parent, especially, I'm sure the parents out there, I need music. I need music or something going in the background all the time. And I play guitar a lot. I think Jason's the same way.
I need just a sound that isn't screaming toddlers. That would be any sound that is not like, it could be jackhammers. I don't care what the other sound is. As long as it is not a screaming toddler, I'm good.
It actually changed my musical taste because a lot of times, like on Sunday morning or if I'm not like trying to get up, it's like I can't take music that's like reminiscent of, like when I was a kid, it was like punk rock, Black Flag, the Dickies, the butthole surfers, and now it's like I can't. And listening
Mhm.
to that is honestly like listening to my kids screaming. I'm like, I can't have it.
I to say my taste in music is eclectic is it sounds like such a cliche, but I listen to all the stuff. Sometimes when I'm driving around and sitting in traffic, I'll just listen to the Sirius XM spa station, like the music you listen to while you're getting a massage. You're just like some Zamfir, Master of the Pan Flute.
Oh, so like Dia Enya?
Totally. There's no
Uh,
lyrics, there's no nothing, just like soothing stream sounds and wind chimes.
That's hilarious you say that because I listen to that. It's called Yoga. There's a playlist on Apple that's called Yoga Essentials, and it's like they have the bell where like it's like it's like some monk up in Tibet. And when you were a kid, you used to watch people listen to that music. Like my father used to listen to Lawrence Welk, and it was
Yeah.
like needles in my ears where it was just
Yeah.
painful. And now
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, Lawrence Welk sounds pretty great.
Look at all the bubbles. Look at all the bubbles. Actually, speaking of the book launch show on Sunday, it's also the LA premiere of my one-man variety show, which is I do stand up, but I also play music. I have short films. There's sketches. I even have a dance number. So my elevator pitch for the show has been the Chappelle Show meets Lawrence Welk.
I love that.
Well, you stand up many times, and often, like halfway through your show, I think to myself, Lawrence Welk. I think that a lot when I see you perform. Yeah.
Hey, listen, what's wrong with Lawrence Welk?
He's the best.
Yeah.
Dude,
My grandparents used to
I'll
watch
rip
him.
Calcutta right now. Bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, it broke while I was on the road, but I literally had a bubble machine in my gig set, and I would have it at the base of my keyboard, and I'd be playing songs, and I'd hit the bubble machine, and it would just just shoot the audience with a bunch of bubbles. They loved it. And there was another bit that I did. There's like a remote control, and if you went into the crowd and you picked out like your favorite audience member, you would give them the remote control, and then from the stage you're like, hit it, Helen, and they just give you some bubbles. It was lovely.
I think it also went over everybody's head that you said one-man variety show. Did you catch that, Jason, by the way?
I did catch it, and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. So all of those things, I just do them myself. I'm the only person on stage the whole time. But
Well, I think that's inferred when you say one-man show. I think and then like you should have a one-man show, and it should be like 15 people in it. And it goes, I thought it was a one-man show, and you go, yeah. And at a time, one man at a time. We took that's the old Stephen Wright joke. He shows up at the 7-Eleven and he goes, hey, it says 24 hours. You're open 24 hours. You're not in a row.
It's a classic, not in a row. Yeah. Stephen Wright.
So really quick, tell everyone it's the Dynasty Typewriter. I will be there at 4:00 this Sunday.
Thank you,
Los
Jamie.
Angeles, California. I'm coming to see the show.
Really appreciate it.
Your buddy Zach is opening, I believe.
He is Zach Sherwin, certified genius. So he's opening, and it's at the Dynasty Typewriter Theater, which is 2511 Wilshire Boulevard, which is over by MacArthur Park, over by Langers and Alvarado. If you're like local and you kind of know the area at all,
and if you're not local, if you live in say Pennsylvania, you should probably leave now.
Get out there! Come on, Jason! Rally time!
I would come in a heartbeat if I could find even one sitter for these people that live here.
Dude, just go out for a pack of smokes. That's like the old days. Come on, man.
Like Nelson Muntz' dad.
Remember the old days when you could just go out for a pack of smokes and not come home?
Those are the days. Well, I will say this about the Dynasty Typewriter Theater. If it tells you anything about the space, it is Adam Sandler's drop-in theater where he goes to work out material. So he will just say like, hey, can I get a spot Thursday at 10? And they will put out a blast to their email list, and it sells out in half an hour, and it's packed. And I've seen him a bunch of times there, and it's inspiring for someone like that to still be like honing his stuff and trying new things every time.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
It is. It's pretty. I mean, that's the one cool thing about LA, man. Sometimes you walk into a place and you're like, oh my God, is that Chappelle? He's like, oh, why is Burr playing a coffee shop? This is crazy. Yeah.
Totally. Usually when you think it's someone, it's that person.
It is, yeah. I remember I was here. I just moved here. It was like the mid '90s or something. And some guy was we were in some crazy dive bar, and this guy gets up and he's playing like Secret Agent Man and all these Johnny Rivers songs. And I go, God, man. He comes off and I go, man, the Johnny Rivers stuff, that was fantastic. It was Johnny Rivers. It was actually Johnny Rivers was playing like this dive bar, and he had like and the dude standing next to him was like the dude from the Eagles Tension. Like they were all like huge, and it was like a Monday night, and I was like, I felt like an idiot. He kind of he goes, oh, yo, thanks, man. I'm a huge fan of Johnny. Like he effed with me a lot. Great. And then somebody goes, hey, ding dong, that's Johnny Rivers. And I go, he goes, you're in LA, relax. And I was like, oh yeah.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Recently, I was in like the Marina Del Rey Kinko's, and I was standing behind this really buff African-American gentleman. And I like looked at his calves and I was like, he's wearing shorts. Like, man, this guy is buff. And I was like, well, why wouldn't he be buff? He's Carl Weathers.
That's so funny.
Carl Weathers needs copies too.
Dude, please. He's Action Jackson. He doesn't go by. I think he legally changed his name to Action Jackson.
Oh my gosh, I love him in Arrested Development. His cameos in Arrested Development are priceless.
It's just great.
Is he Apollo Creed?
No, he's himself, but he's selling acting classes.
Oh, that's amazing. It's funny. I started that show and I just for some reason.
Oh, I think you would really like it.
I know. The ones I saw, I was like, this is one of the greatest shows of all time. I'm in it. I have like a line or two in one of the episodes. And I forget I'm in it.
I've seen you.
Yeah.
Killer.
He rules in Arrested Development.
And Ron Howard is just, I
got to go back and watch it. That's it. I'm going to watch it now.
Yeah. He has one of my, Ron Howard has one of my favorite lines of all time. He says, confidence is preparation in action. Like, wow.
I mean, he stole that. That was from the script, right?
Sure. Well, yeah. It's be prepared to steal the line from the script. No, but I watched his masterclass, and it really was. It was one of the reasons I got the masterclass. Him and Steve Martin, and like
it says, confidence is what? Preparation
in action.
I guess isn't it? What do they say? It's 99% perspiration. Something or other. I forget. Oh, Brandon, I love you, brother. Thank you so much.
10% aspiration.
We're waiting for Brandon to draw something for us so we can do the voices on it. With, our other buddy Justin Revel. Brandon is he's a graphic designer who he makes cartoons.
Cool.
One of our regulars here.
Awesome.
So the book is Have I Seen You in Anything?
Yes, I have a copy right here.
Yes. Have I seen? Which, by the way, that is backstage at the Comedy Store, I believe, isn't it?
Yes, this is the stairwell at the Comedy Store.
Yeah,
and this photograph was taken by Troy Conrad, who is just a genius photographer and a longtime friend.
Yeah, he's shot me a couple times too. He's fantastic. It is kind of funny, it's as the journeyman actor, because I'm in you, even when you wrote the book, I think I'm in one of the chapters you mentioned or something.
100%. The chapter is Rachel Bloom, because Jamie Kaler, for you Kaler fans, know that he also played Whitworth on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
And you were Stonebrow.
And so I was Stonebrow. And here's the thing, and I write it up in the book, we when we auditioned with Felicia Fasano, they didn't audition the Stonebrow part because the parts were so interchangeable. They were like these waspy country club owners. So she's just like, I'm just going to read the Whitworth lines. So you read for Whitworth, so did I. And then I got the call from my agent, like, yeah, you're Stonebrow. I was like, who the hell's Stonebrow? But it was great. It was such a fun experience on set, especially being who you are, Jamie. I don't know if you guys know this. Jamie would take me out and have me be his feature act on the road. So he was really instrumental in helping me develop my stand-up comedy voice. And this is the first time we ever worked together professionally in that way. And it was awesome.
Not by choice. It was the only people who hired us together.
Sure. Well,
yes. I would do it Matt, really, I would work with you anytime. If we could find two jobs together on a show. Oh.
Yeah.
It is
But
funny.
great memories. And the thing that I like about the book, and I didn't have to sit down and write this work of fiction. I just had to sit down and remember what happened. So it's basically my top 40 Casey Kasem-esque stories. Every chapter is the name of the celebrity in alphabetical order from Adam Sandler to William Shatner. But instead of like a dishy tell-all that stabs people in the back, I actually only share stories that are positive and uplifting.
No, that's
So
not
it's
fun.
yeah, it's people being like class acts, and you're like, hey, do you like Dick Van Dyke? Because he's the best all the time. Just so you know.
That's so
I
funny
love Dick Van
because
Dyke.
I
Me too.
remember. I mean, I have a handful of amazing, great people stories, but I also
course.
have way more not great people stories.
Yes.
Is that the sequel?
Well,
Have I seen you in anything terrible?
my pitch is the book is not a tell-all; it's a tell-some. Because there's lots of those stories there, and you're just like you almost can't even believe the way people are behaving. You're like, huh, okay, well, life is a series of choices.
That whole joke where they like the celebrity doesn't allow people to look them in the eye. That's a real thing. Like that's a real thing of like they tell people on set, do not look.
Don't look
so
at
and
him.
so as they walk by.
I remember doing some like it was like a cop show, and the star was such a piece of work that I was like the murder suspect, and she was like interviewing me, and like we did a rehearsal, and I guess I had too many lines, so she took my lines and answered the questions that she was asking me, that she would have no way of knowing. She's like, where were you Friday at 10? Let me guess, you were at a sex club. Like, that's what I'm supposed to deliver the exposition. If you're saying these things, what am I even doing here?
Jason, can you bring up Matt's IMDb page really quickly so we can see what
No,
show that was?
No, don't.
There's no way he's been on that many cop shows. With a woman, please pick it up, Jason.
No, don't do it. I've said too much.
I was on a show, a pretty big show one time where I was a guest, and one of the stars came out and immediately looked at me and goes, "You're not wearing that sweater, are you?" And I go, "I don't know. I mean, I was already in wardrobe. We were like, we're ready to shoot." Right. And he goes, "Don't move." And he left and came back with wardrobe. And wardrobe said, "Take the sweater off." And he was like, I go, "Why? Because Ding Dong didn't want my sweater in the scene of this color?" I didn't understand what was happening. No. But they made me take the sweater off. And I was like, And by the way, I'll tell everybody who it was. I couldn't care less.
Right. Well, that's just, I think a lot of that is coming from a place of insecurity and a lot of,
Well, listen, there's nothing more insecure than being on a TV show. I remember, I had moments of crises. I've been on shows where I would do lines and I go, man, I hope they don't use that take. That was really not good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude.
And of course, that is the take they used.
Yeah. It's the only take that was usable. The rest of it was in soft focus, I don't know how this is true, but I am now Dr. Mark Kramer, General Hospital. And they shoot, my first day there, they shot 57 scenes in one day. I
57?
shot 57 scenes in one day. I shot my 5 scenes in less than an hour. And in one of them, they were just like rolling. I thought it was a rehearsal. And they're like, all right, we got that, moving on. I was like, wow, they really care about the work, but they are also a fine-tuned machine. Just the volume that they have to turn out. It's remarkable.
You're making
it's a great experience.
Like really hour-long show every day, isn't it, or something? It's crazy.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's why a lot of huge actors came from soaps, is because you have to learn your lines and know your craft like that, or you're in serious trouble.
Totally. And what people may not know is they have a 4-camera shooting simultaneously. All of the cameras are feeding the editing room in this master control room, and it's being edited on the fly like a sporting event. Take 1, take camera 2, take 2, take. And so they do this line edit feed that is the show right away every day.
Now, knowing you, I'm sure at the end of each take you go, guys, listen, could I just get one more? I love that. usable, very
Yeah.
usable.
Yeah.
But what about if we just do one for ourselves? Just, let it go. What if we improvise some? What if we find some hidden gems in this? They love that, don't they?
Hidden gems. They love hidden gems. Yeah. You know me too well. I will say this though, even like the contract players that are there every day, in between the rehearsal and the take, they still have their lines in their hands and they're running it like a speed through, like Acme Theater. They're all right. We're about to go. The lights up. Let's the professionalism it takes to operate in that environment is remarkable. So hats off to all of them.
Well, that's the kind of fun stuff you can go do when you don't have kids, Matt. It's really fantastic stuff. So it's pretty great.
I had a snow day again today. All
Snow
three
day?
of them home.
I called him after drop off and I go, I can immediately tell. I'm like, hey, how's it going? He goes, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. And then immediately I was like, he goes, snow day. But it's been a blizzard. So the kids are, trapped in the house. So how, you seem to be on your wit's end earlier today.
So I let them have popcorn, and I didn't take your advice, which was to put them all in tiny bowls that they can't possibly spill that much of. And I let them just put it in a big movie theater sized bucket.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
The bucket.
It's a bucket. And I thought that I was trying to save myself time. It did not in any way, shape, or form save me time, because Logan who is my 4-year-old and my 8-year-old got in a fight over the popcorn, pulling it both ways, and Jace let go, and it littered popcorn kernels as far as the eye could see. Just a field of white.
I think they should invent, horses have like a feeding trough bag and it straps over their head. What if there's just a bag like this and they fill it with corn and then tie it over the top of their head and then they can't spill it?
Right. I love that idea, and we really need to patent that.
I think we should too. What would we call it? The
kid trough.
Kid
trough. I like
the toddler bag.
Toddler bag. I like
toddler
feed. The feed bag. My daughter, we have a freezer in the garage where we keep frozen stuff. Meats. There's some ice cream. We keep some ice cream treats out there. But I was working on this, trying to get my sound equipment done. So I had placed buckets, two big buckets with all kinds of electronic equipment on top of the freezer. And I went upstairs and I came back down and I went out to go to the garage again. And those buckets were flipped over and strewn across the garage.
Strewn
electronics equipment, not paper, equipment.
Right.
And so the freezer was empty. The top was one of the lift up trunk ones. And I immediately knew, I think we all know what has happened. And I went in the other room and I was like, did somebody go in the freezer in the garage to get an ice cream? And Hannah was like, yeah, I got one. And I go, I'm so sorry. What? I'm so confused by what's happened. And my wife came out too, and we both looked. And I go, Hannah, did you just spray the garage with my electronics equipment? And she was like, oh, well, I put it over there. But they were dumped. They were upside down and laid out. And she wasn't even apologetic about what she had done. I was like,
not even apologetic.
So so they don't think at all about, oh, maybe I should clean this up.
Right. Well, I have 2 older brothers and a younger sister, and there's four of us kids. And my dad's signature line, if we ever want to make each other laugh, he's not with us anymore. Rest in peace, Dan. But he would always say when we were growing up, "Can I have anything nice?" No. You have 4 kids. You can't have anything.
Well, and that has been a recurring theme in our, when my wife and I were dating, we bought really great things. I bought expensive, nice things. And then we had kids and we still stupidly bought a really nice couch and we bought some nice stuff. And every time I'd be like, yeah, I wouldn't do that. Sometimes my wife she'll put on she's got this beautiful pair of white pants and she'll wear them to a kid's birthday party. I go, I wouldn't do that. That's not something I would do. And then sure enough, literally on the ride to the birthday party, she's like, oh, my pants.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, So I think we're finally settling into a point of like, okay, we're done buying anything that's expensive. I don't know why anybody doesn't buy everything at IKEA, right? Of like
Right.
disposable furniture.
Right. I don't even have kids, and I'm like Matt Ross Knudsen. I don't see to go and spend $200 on a pair of pants that's going to be marked down to $39 in 4 months. Just no, sir.
I still have pants from the 90s. And I don't know if you remember the 90s. They had like pleats and they were baggy. And so I'm going to put them on. And my wife's like, no, you can't. I go, they're really comfortable. They're loose. They really. You see pictures of yourself from the 90s and you're like, wow, did we wear clothes that baggy? I'm so confused.
Purple turtleneck. Okay. All right. Yeah,
I'm
there was a time when I was
exactly the same. Like I just look like a gym teacher from 1992 all the time.
great. Well, don't knock 92 gym teachers. You know,
They
Oh no, I'm thrilled with where I'm at dress wise, and I'm gonna embrace it.
Fantastic.
He blows the whistle still.
Mhm.
We have to talk about really quick. Jason had a crazy week. You know, he has two nonverbal twins, and they had kind of a big week this week. And he did a post about it, and it was amazing the outpouring of love that came in. Brother, you want to talk
Awesome.
about that?
It was one of the most heartwarming things. So because they're nonverbal, they gave them these books. They're called a PECS book, PECS, and there are dozens of little pictures of household items or body parts or emotions, and the kid picks the action word and then whatever goes with it, like I want, I need, I feel. And my son, who was very upset because his twin brother stole something from him that he was going to eat, very quickly while he was upset, put together, I want snacks, and then said it. And we were told they were never going to do any of these things. And it was just one of the most emotionally it was so cathartic in every way. It was just I cannot even begin to tell you like how heartwarming it was for me to.
That's incredible. That's very sweet and fun to hear.
It was there because we were told we were never going to get to have that kind of thing, and I just really.
Jason, can I ask?
I was told I was never going to get nice things, and that's been the same. I don't get anything nice things.
Can I ask? I guess I don't have a lot of experience with this, so I don't know. What does nonverbal mean? Like they are
they do not speak. So they're almost 5, and they say maybe 25 words ish.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's been a real struggle because they're emotionally moving forward, but developmentally, like with speech, they can't convey to you all the time what they want. And so it becomes rage tantrums or like extra fighting in between them. It's been a really long road with them trying to figure out, how do we maneuver this? And also our insurance was fighting us tooth and nail to even get them the care that they were supposed to get, or to point us in the right direction, or get even a doctor who would give them a diagnosis or kind of point us in the right direction. So I literally fought from like a local to state government level, trying to find a way to get my children so they can communicate.
Wait, you're telling me the insurance company didn't bend over backwards to help you? I'm so confused.
I know. I was always thought they were such nice folks.
I see the ads. The ads always say, "Hey, we're here to help you and protect you in these moments." But I haven't experienced that.
Like a good neighbor, yeah. We're going to deny your claim.
Yeah. And they did.
Yeah.
Like a good neighbor, you're paying for that fence. I feel like that's how that song should go.
And let me get this straight, Jason. You dealt with the government and had some bureaucracy?
I did. It was weird. They were trying to ship our kids 2 hours away every morning in an area where we have this thing called winter and snow days, and they literally battled me from top to bottom. It was just
Wow.
absolutely crazy.
Top to bottom. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thank you, man.
I'm sorry, I felt like that was a joke.
No,
Top-
that just
Top or bottom? Top or bottom? That
Once
is.
you like, when I hear like probably such a frustrating experience, just shrink wrapped to top to bottom. They just
Is it? Well, let me ask you this: does it feel like people are, even without kids, more frustrated nowadays? I mean, the fact that you can't. Oh, here's something that happened. You can't get a doctor's appointment anymore. Have you noticed that at all? Like you'll call,
Yes.
like one of our kids was sick, and we go, "Hey, we want to bring her in. She's having ear issues," and they were like, "All right, how's first week of March?" Yeah, she's sick now. So I don't know. I don't know about March. Do you have anything today? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know how you got. It used to be like I remember as a kid, if you were sick, you could just go to the doctor's office. You might have to wait a little bit, and they'd
Right.
kind of find time. But nowadays, you can't get in anywhere, man. You got to book appointments like months ahead of time to get anything done, and it's super and then you can't get anyone on the phone anyway. I mean, the whole thing's kind of painful.
Yeah. I agree with that. I can't claim to have the immediacy of a sick child, but you call and you make an appointment. It's a month, or
a month.
it's not
Oh.
it's not next week most of the
Jamie,
time.
I was able to pull the video.
That's it.
Oh. All right.
Tell me with your words. Tell me with your words. Okay, well, I want snack. Very good. That was awesome.
Wow, how sweet.
Is there a little card that says "I am crying"? Because
Yes,
I need
there is.
I
There
need to
is.
put that up, dude. I saw it before he sent it to me, and I was
Wow.
like, dude, the tone of
Incredible.
his voice too. You can hear the frustration where he wants to talk. He's like, I want to communicate. I feel like that a lot. Where I'm like, I have something to say, and I don't know how to put it. I feel like honestly, so many people feel that way.
Yeah.
That to see it in the innocence of a beautiful child is like just heartbreaking. Where he's like, I want a snack. I don't know how to say it. Ugh.
It's very sweet, Jason. What a great video.
Thank you. It's just been such a so they're in a program called ABA therapy, which is advanced behavioral analysis. And so the program is it's making it so that we can have many conversations through the pictures with our kids. And I think that we are going to get, just in the last couple of months since they started this school programming, that we have seen a big jump. So I'm really excited about it.
That's awesome, dude.
Big jumps. I love it. I also, when you zoom out and you think about the big picture, I think about the teachers and the people involved that decided to dedicate their life to helping kids. And that's awesome.
Thank you, man.
It is amazing, and perhaps they should be paid more than somebody else who had a great idea for a website to sell books. But we'll work on that for some time.
Sure. Well, hey, people have to be blasted off into space, Jamie. So,
Did you see Gary Gulman's special? For those of you, I don't know him personally. Like I've met him a couple of times doing shows, but he is so blindingly funny. He has a bit in his new special about economic inequality.
Mm-hmm.
And it talks about how much Seinfeld has made and how much he has made. And he's like, listen, Seinfeld's great, but is Seinfeld $999,999 better of a comic than I am? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think he is.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy.
Yeah. One of the things that made me laugh, he's talking about that Seinfeld has like a separate garage for all his cars. He's like,
no, he's a building.
A building, yeah.
With an elevator. He houses his cars in this entire building. And go, what was else?
Yeah. And he just wants a toaster that can hold 4 slices.
He goes, we don't have enough space on the island for a toaster.
Yeah.
Just can't put it out.
Crazy.
So
Yeah,
true.
he's so funny, and he's like a great guy, and he's still, when you read his book, wherever he's at now, it came from the depths of living with your mom depression to this. So
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, it is funny, man. And it's a crazy time too, because it's hard enough taking care of yourself, but when you're trying to take care of kids on a daily basis and you're seeing the world, like my kids come home every day, like, can I go on my iPad? And I'm like, I can either say no and they torture me for an hour and I can't get anything done, or I'm like, yes. And basically, if I have any work to do, I'm like, yes, you can use your iPad. And then as soon as I finish my work, I go, get off the iPad.
yeah,
But
yeah,
that's the world we live in. I don't know what to do. I mean,
yeah.
they're bored out of their mind if they don't, and then I try to take it away and try to do crafts or something else, and they're like, "Bleh."
Right.
Jimmy, what's your punishment? Like like
I take
how
away
do
the
you-
iPad. I'm not joking. I literally, it's a daily.
But that's a punishment for you.
It is a little. Well, that's not true. They actually, Hannah got a sewing machine. Oof,
Cool.
she's been making pillows.
That's sweet.
So we signed her up for a sewing class, and she went to Joann's. She was 10 years old. Everyone else was like a 35-year-old woman who obviously had numerous cats and was learning sewing. And so Hannah was there. She was kind of scared, and she did it, and she made some pillows and stuff. So she got about making pillows, and so all of a sudden she got all these orders from all of her friends in class. I want a pillow. I want a pillow. I want a pillow. So we bought, and so she was going to sell them. She goes, I'll sell them for $5 a piece. So we still have to work out the economics of the situation, because I go, Hannah, we're not going to take a $22 loss on each of the pillows that you're selling. And
right.
so I want to teach her about business. And so I think we're going to make her do like a business spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And go, here's how much these cost.
Interesting.
And if I make 7 and I sell them for this, what would my profit margin be? I don't know.
Right. Well, I don't think it's ever too soon to teach kids about money,
Dude, that brings up a subject from this week. So, yeah, I think teaching kids about money, and I'd love to hear some feedback from people in the audience, is the hardest thing nowadays, because, well, first of all, nobody just gets money for their birthday. Do you remember when you were a kid, you'd open cards and go, got 20. You'd open another card and go, I got 5, but still 5.
Right.
And by the end of your birthday, you had a stack of cash and you dictated what you did with it. Whatever. Over the birthday, it might be $100 or whatever, $120 or something. But your mindset was, and my parents would be like, well, you could go spend it or we could save it. And so I opened a bank account and I started to save money that way. Mm-hmm. My kids somebody along the way said, oh, cash is kind of gauche. It's not caring enough. We're going to do gift cards. And so my kids just get tons of gift cards for Target, because, you put way more thought in it because you went to Target and got a gift card that said happy birthday. Right. But now you've given me a job. I can only spend it in one place. I can't really go under, because then I don't remember how much is on it. I don't want to go over, because then I'm putting my own money into this birthday present for myself.
Oh yeah.
And so why don't you just give me the cash? Why? Yeah. So I tried to put money in a card, and my wife goes, oh, that's so bouge. That's so bourgeois.
Your wife gave you shit about it.
I mean, everybody gives you shit about it nowadays, because it's so uncaring. I go, what are you talking about, man? I would love if people just gave me money. I don't want you to give me. I go, I'll buy what I want. Just give me the money if you want to do that.
Yeah.
I
have always been a big respecter of cash, but I can't say I get as excited about cash as when I see it fall out when you open the dryer door. I wish I had that level of respect for cash. Is that a 10? Oh, woo!
I still to this day remember finding a $20 bill near the bus stop. And I remember stepping on it and hiding it with my foot until some other people walked away, and then I picked it up. And I didn't, it's a bus stop. You can't go, who's 20?
Yeah.
Right.
And so
it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. I kept 20. It was my 20.
I used to love when you'd get a winter coat out for after you hadn't worn it for a real long time, and then you'd find some cash in the pocket.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh man. The thing I found in a pocket most recently in a jacket I hadn't worn in a while was a crumpled up mask for the pandemic. I was like, oh, this isn't a 20.
You know what's so funny? We've been so far removed from the pandemic. When you first said mask, I thought it was like a Halloween mask. I thought it was like a William Shatner mask. I had to be reminded of like, oh, that's right. There was a
Yeah. I reached into my pocket. There was a DVD of Mask with Eric Stoltz and Cher. Oh boy.
Or a pandemic mask of Eric Stoltz's face from.
Could have been Jim Carrey, the mask as well. I mean, you could have gone in other directions, but I appreciate the Eric Stoltz. His name was Rocky Dennis, by the way.
Classic.
Not to take a pull from the past, but kids today don't know cash. I don't think, and my kids do not respect money at all. At all. They've been spoiled. They don't respect it.
I think the Parents Lounge fans of the show would love a comedian named Chad Daniels, who is a longtime friend of mine. He is hilarious. He's blowing up right now. But I knew him when his kids were growing up and they were like young and everything. Mm-hmm. And what Chad would do every month, even when they were young, they'd all sit down at the kitchen table while he paid the bills. And he'd make the kids pay the bills with him. He's like, all right, so here's the electric bill. It's $85. You think it might have been a little cheaper if you left the lights off in your room or, didn't go to school. So he would the kids at that age knew hey, all this stuff around you, it's not $0. And, so I thought that was really cool. And I probably would have done some version of that.
When I bring my kids home from school, they're like, hey, can we go to Jersey Mike's? Can we go? They always just want to go out to dinner. They're like, hey, can we go to CPK? Can we go? I go, first of all, it's 3:00 in the afternoon. And B, no, dude, I have food at the house. I'm making you dinner. I've been really good about making dinner lately.
That's great.
I make food. But here's the problem. They don't eat the same food. And I've tried. Everyone goes, just serve them the same thing. And then sure enough, one puts a foot down, doesn't eat. And then I've sent them to bed hungry before.
Yeah. I mean, I remember growing up as a kid, it was a good day if I scrounged enough change to go to 7-Eleven and get a box of Nerds.
Ooh.
Classic.
I don't know. My kids are spoiled.
We knew we were eating out too much when we were driving down the road, and my son shut his eyes and could tell you what restaurant was next. And I was like, oh, this might be a problem.
Dude, we never ate out as a kid. I once in a blue moon, McDonald's,
Yeah.
I remember that we had a place in Hooksett, New Hampshire called the China Dragon. That was like our big night out if we went and get Chinese food, but that was it. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, when we would go to we never went to fast food. Anytime we did, we would walk in and my parents would be like, $3 you all had, or whatever the number was. So you had to kind of plan accordingly.
Is that right?
Yeah, it wasn't get whatever you want. My dad was a pastor. My mom was a stay-at-home mom.
I mean,
budget conscious
stole,
is that
he stole some money from the church. Though.
Oh, sure. But he didn't spend it on us.
No. You're like, Dad, why do you have a private jet? Don't worry about it. You got $3 in McDonald's. Go use the dollar menu.
Well, my joke is always growing up. My dad was a pastor, so we'd go to church religiously.
That's so funny. My religious joke was my father stopped going to church when I was in like 3rd grade. And he said, I'm not getting up on my one day off to go to church to listen to some guy who works 1 day a week, drinks wine while he works, and doesn't pay taxes. And I go, okay, dude, whatever.
Cosign. Cosign.
That's so funny. Have I seen you in anything? Let's do one or two of the stories. I mean, Harrison obviously shrinking, dude. That's a pretty big deal with Harrison
Huge
Ford
show,
and Jason Segel.
Thank you. The reality is that was the first job that I got out of the pandemic, and I never thought I would work again. I hadn't worked in almost 2 years, and I was like, well, time for the backup career. Mesothelioma lawyer. And this just kind of came out of the blue. And what people always ask me, they're like, hey, what was Harrison Ford like? And all of my scenes were with Jason Segel. I don't know if your fans have watched Shrinking, but if you have seen all episodes, I play Steven. And the biggest episode that I did was I'm the one that spreads his mom's ashes at the Rose Bowl. So all of my scenes were with Jason Segel. I never met Harrison Ford, but Jason Segel had these great Harrison Ford. Can you curse on this show? I just want to make sure.
Yeah, sure.
So there was two stories, and I share them in the book. One was, Harrison Ford literally turned 80 on the set of Shrinking, and they brought a big cake out and they rolled it out, and there's like the candles, and before he blows them out, someone said, "Harrison, make a wish," and his wish, "I wish I wasn't 80." Pull him out. And the second one, when they wrapped him on his final day of shooting season 1, like, if you don't know, like what happens is, like, people will just like, "Hey, Harrison Ford, everyone," and people will give him like an applause, or they'll give him like a send off. So they just really, the whole cast and the whole crew was just giving him all the love and thumbs up and all this stuff, and he got really emotional. He's like, he said, I can't thank you all enough for this show. It's been one of the highlights of my life. Like, wow. And then, like, as he's leaving the set for the final time, he walks past Jason Segel and whispers in his ear, so only he hears it, "I knew I was fucking funny." It was like, that was it. That was his last. And then who knew if they were going to make any more, but that was his dismount for season 1. It's just such a legend. But I mean, if you'll bear with me, would you like to hear the chapters? The names?
Yeah, absolutely.
I can read through that. Okay, so like I said, it's my Casey.
We'll do that, then we'll have somebody in the audience. We'll have narcolepsy or Freddie or somebody pick a topic, and we'll we'll go out on one of those.
There, every chapter is the name of the celebrity, and it is from 1 to 40. Adam Sandler, Alfred Molina, Alicia Silverstone, Ben Stiller, Bill Paxton, Bryan Cranston, Bud Friedman, Chuck Woolery, Colin Hay, Conan O'Brien, Dick Van Dyke, Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, Edward James Olmos, Fred Savage, Fred Willard, Gary Busey, Gene Simmons, Homer Simpson, Hugh Hefner, Jan from Toyota, Jason Alexander, Jason Segel, Key and Peele, Larry David, Louis Anderson, Mark Harmon, Mel Brooks, Michael Imperioli, Mindy Kaling, Papa John, Rachel Bloom, Jamie Kaler, Scott Bakula, Seventh Heaven, Sugar Ray Leonard, The Bangles, The Big Bang Theory, The League, Tim Robinson, William Shatner, and Workaholics.
That was like a Billy Joel song.
You had to be a big shot.
All right, I have two. Jason, anything pop to you?
Mindy Kaling does, actually.
Which one?
Mindy Kaling, for sure.
I would love it. For sure. I want to hear Gary Busey, and I want to hear Hugh Hefner.
Okay, so Mindy Kaling, I'll do the most concise versions of the story, but they're all in the book. I did an episode of the Mindy Project, and what ended up happening was the sound mixer on the show was actually my best friend and the best man at my wedding, Brian Whittle, who used to be the boom guy on The Office. Mindy got him the job on her show because they were pals. And when I would go visit Brian at The Office, it was already a hit. It was a big deal. So that was Brian's first job. And I was like the casting director on the show who cast the commercial. And I cast Mindy Kaling's son in his first spot. But since he was a toddler, he couldn't talk. So I just like brushed through the office and just like, no. Yes, but not for this. Too Asian, not Asian enough. And it was so like, it was also the perfect thing. Like, it really has nothing to do with you, but yeah, And the person who co-signed on that for me was Guy Branum, who is a great comedian here in LA. And he wrote the episode, and he like name checked me to Mindy, and she's like, "Yeah, Knudsen, you're the guy." So that was Mindy Kaling.
Hang on one second. Kevin Matthew Burns wants me to talk about my golf slice on the course. But what's crazy, I don't slice.
No, you're a very good golfer, Jamie.
That's not true. But I mean, if I do anything, I'll hook. I won't slice. You're a hooker too, I believe. But yeah, I think he was being a little facetious when he asked me to talk about my. Yeah, you're a hooker. Is that not grammatically correct? You're not a slicer for sure. You're a hooker. If anything, I snap hook it, but I don't even do that too much. But I don't slice. That's not true. Kevin. So I don't know what you're talking about, but I
I
thank you for
doubt
your
it.
comment. It's very nice. I want to hear about Gary Busey.
Oh yeah.
So Gary Busey, before I was able to be an actor full time, I was in the sound union. I was a boom operator in the
That's right.
IATSE
I
Local
forget that.
695.
Mhm.
So I'm a vested pensioner of the sound union. But I did these promos for the Comedy Central show I'm with Busey, and it was just him, and he had like his protege Adam, and so he would teach Adam how to like live his best life. So they did these promos for Comedy Central, and we put these radio mics on, and Adam's mic sounded fine, but Gary's mic had this like this static noise. It sounded like, you know, when you're in town and you're just leaving the range of the radio station. So we couldn't get his microphone to work. I changed the battery, I changed the pack, I changed the mic. Finally, I just swapped out his pack with Adam, but it was still there's something about the energy that is flowing through Gary Busey that I don't have an explanation for it, but he is
Hey, man.
operating on a different plane than the rest of us. But, you know, like I said, these are all positive stories. And to his credit, he's like, you know, hey, don't worry about it, brother. You know, and he was so nice and he was so cool. But like technical difficulties on any set are a challenge and frustrating. But when you're dealing with a star like that, and then the crew's waiting for you, and you're like, ugh. And then the last and only time I saw Gary after that was I live in Santa Monica. I was going on Sunset Boulevard, and there was traffic backed up, and there horns were honking, and it was total chaos, and I couldn't see what was happening. But as I got closer, I saw that there was a car door open on the westbound lanes, and I was heading east, and I saw this figure running down the center of the street, and in his hand was a windshield wiper, and it was Gary Busey.
Mhm.
And apparently his windshield wiper fell off. He just instinctively opened his car door and ran back out and got it. And and you know, once he had it in his hand, he kind of waved it above his head, and he was smiling, and he just took off into the night. The Busey frequency. I saw that comment. It's
Could you
perfect. It's the only
even as he
explanation.
was running down the street, could you hear the?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and then I guess what the last one was Hugh Hefner.
This will be our finale, and then
Our
the show
finale.
is this Sunday.
It's this
Dynasty
Sunday.
Typewriter in Los
Dynasty-
Angeles. We'll
Yeah,
put
you
some
can go
links
to,
up to it. But look up Dynasty Typewriter, Matt Knudsen, 4 p.m. show, which, by the way, as a parent, right in my wheelhouse.
Well, that's a sweet
Thank
spot.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was kind of
Gold.
the
Yeah.
goal to reach out to people in our demographic
Yeah.
with maybe more Monday through Friday responsibilities. You don't have to commit to a sitter for, you know, 3, 4, 5 hours. You can drop your kids off on a play date. You can take them somewhere. It's January, leave them in the car. You know, they're
Sure,
going to be
they'll
fine. They're going
It's
to be
only
fine.
an hour. It's going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
Now, here, before you tell the Hugh Hefner story, I find it so intriguing because how the times have changed so much. I have been to the Playboy Mansion. Have you gone? Did
Me?
you go, Matt? Didn't you go at one time too? No?
Jason or me?
No, you.
Oh,
I don't think Jason.
I worked the Playboy Mansion Halloween party for 7 years.
That's it. I remember you telling me that. I remember you said you were working it. I
Mhm.
just went for one party for Robot Chicken because I was doing the voice of the bloopers host, and so they let me go to the party, and I went for one night, and I was like, but it wasn't like the crazy, like the Halloween parties, Cuckooville. But here's what's
Crazy.
weird. Back in that time, like Playboy's kind of the times have changed where I can't frame it quite right. Maybe somebody out there can help us, and you guys can too. But it's like it was kind of, I mean, Pamela Anderson, Jenny McCarthy, they all kind of came out of that world of that, and it was kind of cool, and it wasn't that big of a deal. And I feel like now things are so different, even though women have like OnlyFans page where it's pretty way more hardcore than Playboy was, but I think Playboy's frowned upon, and it was just such a different era.
Agreed.
Even my OnlyFans page is worse than Playboy.
Dude, I finally watched Euphoria.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say you watch my
Had you?
OnlyFans.
Well, you're, and that's what made me think of Euphoria, is because I went and saw your OnlyFans page. And by the
It's
way, dude,
It's only taint.
hey, on a side note, by the way, don't use a fisheye lens with your OnlyFans page. It
No, I'm
really
sorry.
distorts.
I was trying to make
everything's-
some creative choices, Jamie. I was trying to be artsy.
I mean, it was shadowy, but I mean, it looked smaller. The whole size thing was weird. But in Euphoria, the girl starts a OnlyFans page, and it's really graphic. And I'm like, this is crazy. But
Yeah.
anyway, back to Hugh. I feel like the Hugh Hefner period was a little more innocent in a weird way, even though
Yeah.
nowadays it's looked back as total misogyny. But I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it was definitely a different era. You're right, and also it was, since it was Halloween, it was like always Hugh Hefner's favorite a holiday. I don't even know if that's a holiday, but
Oh, it's a
always
holiday.
it was his favorite party because it's one of the only holidays it's not religious. It's just like
true.
just debauchery and party. So it was all these women dressed up as the sexy cop and the sexy nurse. Some of the women, they were just naked and they had their costumes spray painted on, so those were costumes too. But what I did, I was one of they probably hired about 30 to 40 actors to do Hef's haunted maze. So I would just be one of the characters in the haunted maze. But the gig that I did the most was I played this mad scientist that was at the entrance to a 3D room. But in order to experience the 3D effect, there were glasses by the door, and you had to put them on before you went in. But the guests couldn't be trusted to find the glasses on their own. So I was kind of facilitating them getting the glasses. But I also had like this mad scientist mask on that just covered my face, but like the bottom of my mouth was showing. So I would tell them to get these glasses, but at the same time, I would actively roast them with total anonymity. So I could see who these people were, and I knew things about them, and I could just say, I never touched them or anything, but I could say or do anything I want. And it was just like, yeah, so James Caan, Heidi Fleiss, Mike Tyson. I let all of these people have it with complete impunity.
You roast Tyson?
Yeah.
You got balls, bro.
It's in the book, and God bless him, he's such a good sport. He was like a nice guy, but he walked into the room and he had like this girl on his arm, and I'm going to try and do like a muted version of the voice of this professor, but I like, don't forget your 3D glasses, everyone, get your glasses. But he walked in with this girl on his arm, and I said, oh my gosh, what are you doing, miss? Don't you read the news? And he was like, he was like joking around, and it was like he was having a good time, and I didn't take the piss out of anyone too much, and it was just,
I believe when you bring up
easy
rape
breezy.
charges to a woman in front of Mike Tyson,
Easy
I feel like
breezy.
you did take the piss. Jason, am I crazy?
I mean, it's not a move I would have personally been able to make.
Even
It's
I
too
wouldn't
late.
have cracked that joke.
I can't get the genie back in the bottle. It's too late. Maybe he
By the
doesn't
way,
even remember
not
it.
to
Maybe
You
jump
have
the
my
ship for a
respect, sir.
second, Ryan Gall, who is another friend of ours and another actor, has commented onto Instagram to ask. He goes, "Let's get to the bottom of something. When's the last time Jamie blanked his pants? His pants?" Which seemed odd. Seemed like he's such a great improviser. It seems not to go blue out of the chute, but it's been a long time, I guess. I mean, I don't know, a week or two, probably. It's my thing.Maybe Ryan should come on the show. Yeah. I worked with James Caan. I shot a sitcom with him.
Cool.
And,
what was that like?
He's James Caan. It's Jimmy Caan.
Yeah.
The whole time, I think he thought he was on a movie set in the 70s because we all sat around and waited for him for like 90 minutes, and it was a sitcom. And you gotta keep moving. And then finally Jimmy Caan showed up, and he's everything you could hope he would be. He was like, he shows up, not like, I'm sorry, I'm running late. Shows up and goes like, All right. What's the action? What do we got going on here? What's happening? What's the jack? He just started going off about like,
Great.
what are we talking about here? Before
Yeah.
anyone had seen anything. And they were
Yeah.
like, Jimmy, you stand here, you're gonna say your stuff. He goes, all right.
Yeah.
But he was so great. At the end, I asked him, I said, I thought I was being so clever. And I said, hey, can I take a picture? He's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
And dude, he's got shoulders. Not the tallest guy next to
Yeah.
me, but shoulders to, like he should have been
Oh,
called
yeah.
shoulders. And I said, can you hold your fist up to my mouth where it looks like in the frame I'm getting punched mid shot or whatever?
Uh-huh.
And he goes, that's the picture everybody asks for. And I go, oh, really? And he goes, yeah. And I go, yeah, you're Jimmy Kahn. He goes,
that's hilarious.
it's kind of crazy when your career is like I want to take a photo of you punching me in the face. That's when you know you've been typecast as
dude.
Jimmy Kahn.
Well, one of the things about the book is the header for every chapter is a photo that I took. I always try and grab a photo with everyone. This is me and Sugar Ray Leonard.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I tried to take a regular photo with him. And I had my arm by my side, but like right before the picture was taken, he said, and I quote, "Nah, man, get him up." I'm like, yeah.
He'd still, and Tyson would too. He'd kill all of us.
No question. He might do it again after he watches the Parents Lounge.
Did you do the stand-up show up in Brentwood that Sugar Ray would go to? It was in that little restaurant.
That was my show.
Yes.
Yeah.
We did the show together.
Yeah. I produced the show.
I thought so. The whole time I was like, I'm pretty sure, but that's not your story. Is that the story from that? Is that from that show with him?
Yeah. Sugar Ray Leonard never missed a single show. He had perfect attendance. He bought the first 12 tickets to every show, and he would roll out with his wife, some of his family. He had a whole crew that loved comedy. And I did like this monthly show in the Pacific Palisades at Hank's.
And
that
was it.
It was like Sugar Ray Leonard come out, Mike Judge was there, Steve Gutenberg, like all these people that you thought might come to a show at the Improv. They're like, they're just going to go to the one that's Sean Penn.
Well, the Palisades is so you can't get in. You need a helicopter to get in and out of there. But I remember doing the show, and the first few comics, everybody talked to Sugar Ray.
They couldn't help it.
They were like, they started doing jokes about Sugar Ray, and they did some jokes about Sugar Ray. Finally, by the third, maybe the fourth comic, Sugar Ray's wife goes, "We got it. No more Sugar Ray jokes." And nobody mentioned Sugar Ray again for the rest of the night. And it was like my favorite thing of all time, where even though he's like one of the greatest boxers of all time, we knew who ran that family.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And she was like, I
wouldn't mess with that lady. She'll kill me more than he would.
No, she was, I'm blanking on her name.
I don't blame her though.
She was friends with the owner, Bruce Bromberg, who actually wanted to do the show. The thing about Hanks is like Bruce loved comedy, but he didn't have any producing experience. So I was just like, well, hey, you know what? I was introduced through a mutual friend. I was going to come in and consult and just be like, well, maybe I can give you some advice and, you know, how to get the show going. But once I saw the space and I met Bruce, I was like, well, let's do this.
It was super fun, man.
It was super fun. I'll never forget walking into that place for the first time, and Bruce was sitting at a table next to the director, John Turtletaub. And he's like, hey, well, let's and John was like, so you're doing a show here, huh? I was like, yeah, I am. So he's like, all right, well, when you guys do it, I'll be at the first one. I was like, great. And true to his word, he was. And the first comedian that I booked for that show was Raul D. Lewis, who was a star of John's, maybe not, you know, he was the director of Cool Runnings. And Raul was the star.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell either one of them that either one of them would be there. And I orchestrated a mini reunion between the two of them. Raul crushed it. John loved him and saw him. Sugar Ray Leonard loved it. It was just, that place was magic.
So our buddy Justin Wood has popped in. He's on Instagram. Julie Whitner, we love you too.
Hey,
our buddy Justin Wood's running a show we got to get back out to. So Justin, please hit me up. I'm going to come see the show. For those of you guys who are tuning in on Instagram, we just started going live to Instagram. We're also on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. There's another one too, I think, somewhere. We're going out live to a ton of places. So thank you guys for tuning in. Matt, it's so great to have you on the show. We kind of went off script a little tonight, which I think is great because a lot of times parents, we talk a lot about parenting and about the pain and the jokes of parenting, but sometimes it's just great to go, oh, I don't want to be a parent tonight, and just talk about stories. And dude, we've been in town for a long time and we have so many crazy stories. It was great to see. So for those of you out there, if you want to get a little taste of Hollywood, Matt Knudsen's book, Have I Seen You in Anything? People can find it on Amazon, I believe, right?
Yeah, what I did was I uploaded 2 different versions of the book. All the stories are exactly the same. The only difference is there's a color and a black and white version. So if you don't care about the color photos and you want to save a couple of bucks, you can get the black and white version. Every penny counts.
Cool.
I'm a sophomore in college. I'm studying business, and
Yep.
more than anything, I want to provide my customers and fans with value.
There's also a third book where it's just Matt does like matchstick figures. And so you can't really tell who it is, but it's close enough. And you save a couple more bucks.
Sure.
And then there's a couple more where it's just the pages aren't in order.
Right.
And it's just a bunch of words
Right.
on like a dream board. And,
Well, my joke
that's
is
almost
always,
free.
because I sell these at shows too, and I say, you can get yourself a copy. It's $20. If I sign it, it's $9. So somehow my signature sharply reduces the value of the book.
Well, I will be there, 4:00, Dynasty Typewriter this Sunday.
Thank
To
Jamie.
see
Thank
you run
you.
you're doing your 1 hour special that's going to be coming out, and we'll do a little book signing and a little birthday celebration.
It's literally my birthday.
Literally his
Yeah.
birthday.
Yeah.
So
Well, happy
I
birthday,
bought
my
you.
friend.
Thank you, Jason.
I got you a present.
No.
It's a book.
It's your
You wrote
present.
it. It's your present. I got you
Thank
your
you.
book for your present.
Thank you.
If
Yeah,
guys are
such a
just
fun
tuning
thing.
in,
Thank you.
We appreciate you guys. This will go up obviously on iTunes. This is how we record our podcast. We record it live so we can get feedback from people and questions and stuff. It makes it way more fun for us. So do us a favor, follow, like, subscribe. If you are listening to this on iTunes, please go follow, like, subscribe. And I think that's about it. We hope that we gave you a couple laughs and made you forget about parenthood for at least an hour or so. And I don't know, Jason, you want to, what? No gift card? Oh, that's a callback. I got, by the way, the racks of gift cards, you go to like Target, they have gift cards. You can get gift cards for any, like, who goes, dude? I've been around your house a lot. I thought you could use a $25 gift card for Home Depot. I thought maybe some paint or a plunger or something. Blows my mind.
Didn't Mulligan one time tell us that there was a site where you could trade the gift cards in for other different gift cards from a place you actually go to?
I'm sure there's an app that is ad free if you don't pay any money, but for $3.99 a month, then you will get. I'm so over it.
Well, and we haven't even mentioned this part. To activate those gift cards, it's $5. Spend money to buy a gift card is the anti-cash.
One time I bought a gift card. This is why the whole gift card thing annoys me so much. They had lost a family member. Someone had passed away. So we got them a gift card for Grubhub so that they could order food and one night without, you don't have to worry about food. We'll take care of you. And so we gave them like $100 gift card. And so I got it at the grocery store, and they, you got the gift card rack, and I bought the gift card, and I gave them the $100, and they put the $100 on the gift card. And then we sent the gift card to the person with a little condolence card. And then my wife got a call 4 days later because the gift card didn't work. The money wasn't on the fucking gift card. So I went back to Ralph's, the grocery store, and I said, hey, man, the money's not in the gift card. And Ralph's goes, gift cards aren't part of our business. That's somebody else's business that runs through Ralph's, but we're not responsible. Here's a phone number to call. And I had a call, and guess what? Never got a hold of anybody, lost $100. I was and I was like, why don't we just give the dude $100, man? Why do we have to make work? Why don't we give him $100? Let him spend it where he wants. Who are we to say, listen, man, I know you like this restaurant. Here, I'm gonna chip in $50 for this restaurant. You don't even know. Yeah. I'd love you to go. Obviously, you're gonna have to put the extra $100 because you're bringing a family of 4. But Just give me the $50. I don't want to be a jerk, but I'm over gift cards.
Yeah.
Totally, and
Well,
I'm done.
I will say this, and I'm certainly not trying to encourage anyone to rob me, but I just have an envelope full of cash underneath my spare tire, because if there's one thing I learned from the pandemic, you see these lines at the ATM around the corner, they're going for cash. No one's going to try and cash in their Etsy gift card when the chips go down.
The Etsy's the best. That's the best one.
That's where Shannon could open a pillow shop on Etsy.
By the way, when that electromagnetic pulse comes and destroys all the electronics in this country,
Totally.
you might want to have some cash.
Have some
Lock it.
cash.
At least a Krugerrand or two.
Mhm.
All right, that is it. We thank you guys so much. Matt Knudsen, thanks for joining us tonight. Have
you
I
for
seen you in
having
anything?
me.
Go do it. We'll be at the show on Sunday. Please love us. And that's all I have. Jason?
Yes, new episodes of the audio podcast drop on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever else you get your podcasts every Monday and Thursday. Subscribe, leave us all the reviews. We need the love.
Also, we should have Julie Whitner on the show, and we should have Ryan Gall on the show. So we love you guys. We'll see you next week here on the Parents Lounge.
Good night, everybody.